Think you know this cheating husband story? Wait until you hear what his own mother confessed. The crystal chandeliers of the Belvedere Grand Hotel cast dancing shadows across the marble lobby as Marcus Chambers pushed through the revolving doors, his hand possessively gripping the waist of Sienna Ross. At 38, Marcus had perfected the art of deception, the casual lie, the fabricated business trip, the burner phone tucked in his briefcase. Tonight, like so many nights before, he believed his secret was safe. Presidential suite, he told the concierge with the confidence of a man who'd never faced consequences. The usual arrangements. The concierge's lips curved into something that wasn't quite a smile. Actually, Mr. Chambers, your reservation has been upgraded. Complimentary. By the new owner. Marcus's brow furrowed. New owner? That would be me. The voice came from behind him, smooth as aged whiskey and just as burning. Marcus turned, and the blood drained from his face. There, descending the grand staircase in an emerald gown that cost more than his monthly salary, was Victoria Hartwell, his wife, or rather the woman he'd stopped seeing as anything but an obstacle to his pleasures 6 years ago. But this wasn't the Victoria he knew. Gone was the woman who'd shrunk herself to fit into his life, who'd apologized when he came home late smelling of someone else's perfume, who'd believed his lies because believing was easier than facing the truth. This woman radiated power. Hello, Marcus, Victoria said, her heels clicking against marble with the precision of a countdown. Welcome to my hotel. Sienna's hand slipped from Marcus's arm. You're... what? Victoria's smile was gracious as she extended her hand to the younger woman. Sienna Ross, isn't it? I've heard so much about you. From the private investigator I hired 6 months ago. The lobby seemed to tilt beneath Marcus's feet. 6 months. She'd known for 6 months. Before Sienna, there was Rachel from your law firm, Victoria continued conversationally, as if discussing the weather. And Amanda from the gym. And Chloe. My God, Marcus, your colleague's 23-year-old daughter? That was particularly inspired. Guests in the lobby had stopped to watch. Marcus felt their eyes like brands against his skin. Before we continue, please, hit that like button so YouTube shows this to more people who need to hear it. Victoria, please. Please what? Her voice never rose, never cracked. That was somehow worse than screaming. Please don't embarrass you? The way you've embarrassed me for years? She turned to Sienna, and her expression softened. My dear, the presidential suite is yours for the weekend. Spa treatments, room service, champagne, all complimentary. Consider it a gift from one woman to another. Sienna's eyes filled with tears. I didn't know, not at first. He said, I know what he said. Victoria pressed a keycard into Sienna's trembling hand. You're not the villain here. You're just another casualty of a man who thinks fidelity is optional. As Sienna fled toward the elevators, Marcus found his voice. How long have you been planning this? Planning suggests vengeance, Victoria replied. I prefer to think of it as preparation. My office, now. The penthouse office overlooked the glittering city like a throne room. Victoria poured herself a glass of wine, a Chateau Margaux that Marcus recognized from his own cellar, and settled behind a desk that probably cost more than his car. 6 months ago, I hired a private investigator, she began, opening a leather portfolio. His report was illuminating. 4 women, Marcus. 4 that he found anyway. She slid photographs across the desk. Marcus couldn't look at them. At first I blamed myself, Victoria continued. What was I doing wrong? Was I not pretty enough? Not interesting enough? Then I realized, this isn't about me. It never was. You would have cheated on anyone. It's who you are. That's not fair. Fair? For the first time, steel entered her voice. You want to discuss fair? While you were busy with your extracurricular activities, my mother died. Cancer. You sent flowers and went back to work. You didn't even ask about her will. Marcus's throat tightened. He'd forgotten about that. Or rather, he'd filed it away as unimportant. She left me $3.7 million, Victoria said, in my maiden name. Separate property according to the 3 different attorneys I consulted. I bought this hotel first, then 3 more. I have quite the portfolio now. The room spun. 3.7. Million, yes. She sipped her wine. The house is in my name, too. My parents' wedding gift, remember? Turns out they were smarter than both of us. They put it in my name only. Marcus's hands clenched into fists. You manipulative. Careful. Victoria's eyes glinted. This conversation is being recorded. Security cameras cover every inch of this hotel. Say something threatening, and my attorney will have a field day. The fight drained from him. What do you want? I want you to sign these. She pushed divorce papers across the desk. I'm filing tomorrow. Adultery, concealment of assets, emotional cruelty. You'll get the Audi and your personal accounts. I keep everything else. Victoria, please. We can work through this. No. The word was final as a judge's gavel. We can't, because you don't want to work through anything. You want to have your comfortable life with me and your exciting life with them. That's not how this works. She stood and walked to the door. 2 security guards appeared in the hallway. 30 days to remove your belongings from the house, Victoria said. After that, charity pickup. As the guards moved to escort him out, Marcus turned back. I did love you, you know. Victoria's expression softened for just a moment, revealing a glimpse of the pain beneath her armor. Maybe you did, but you loved yourself more, and that was never going to be enough. 6 months later, the Belvedere Herald newspaper featured Victoria Hartwell on its cover. From betrayal to business empire, how one woman built a hotel chain from heartbreak. The article detailed her meteoric rise in the hospitality industry, her innovative marketing strategies, and her unexpected choice to hire Sienna Ross as her marketing director. What the article didn't mention was the envelope that arrived at Victoria's office that morning. Inside was a letter from Marcus's mother, Eleanor Chambers. Victoria stared at the elegant handwriting, her coffee growing cold. Dear Victoria, I know we haven't spoken since the divorce, but I felt you deserved to know the truth. Marcus has always been this way. His father was too, unfaithful, secretive, destructive. I stayed for 30 years believing love could change him. It couldn't. But there's something else, something I discovered going through old family papers after my husband's death last month. Your mother and I were friends once, long before you married Marcus. We lost touch when she moved away, but we corresponded occasionally. In her last letter to me, 6 months before she died, she asked me to tell you something if you ever needed to hear it. The inheritance wasn't 3.7 million, it was 7.2 million. She split it. Half for you immediately, half held in trust for your children. But if you divorced before having children with Marcus, the full amount would be yours. Your mother knew, Victoria. She suspected Marcus would do this eventually. She wanted you to be prepared. She wanted you to have the resources to leave. I'm sorry I didn't tell you sooner. I was ashamed of my son, ashamed I'd raised a man who would hurt someone as remarkable as you. You've built something extraordinary from your pain. Your mother would be so proud. With love and regret, Eleanor. Victoria's hands trembled as she set down the letter. Her mother had known. All those years of marriage, her mother had been quietly, patiently, preparing an escape route her daughter might one day need. A knock at the door interrupted her thoughts. Sienna entered, carrying a tablet. The investors approved the Dubai property, Sienna announced, her eyes bright. We're going international, Victoria. This is incredible. Victoria managed a smile, tucking the letter into her desk drawer. It is, isn't it? Are you okay? Sienna's brow furrowed. You look like you've seen a ghost. Not a ghost, Victoria said softly. An angel. I just realized how many people love me enough to prepare for my happiness, even when I couldn't see it myself. That evening, Victoria stood in her penthouse office, looking out over the city lights. She thought about her mother's quiet strength, about Eleanor's courage in finally speaking truth, about Sienna's determination to rebuild her life, about all the women who found themselves in impossible situations and somehow, impossibly, found their way out. Her phone buzzed, a text from an unknown number. Congratulations on the Dubai deal. You were always too good for me. Me too. Victoria stared at the message for a long moment, then deleted it without responding. Marcus wasn't part of her story anymore. He was barely even a footnote. She opened her laptop and began drafting an email to a women's shelter her mother had quietly supported for years. The subject line read, Partnership Opportunity, Safe Harbor Initiative. If her mother could prepare a secret escape route, Victoria could build a visible one. Hotels were nice, but maybe it was time to build something that mattered more. Transitional housing, job training, legal services, a genuine second chance for women who needed to disappear from dangerous situations and rebuild their lives. She thought of her mother's letter, Eleanor's confession, and her own journey from devastated wife to self-made mogul. Pain had been her teacher, but purpose would be her legacy. As Victoria typed, she smiled, not with bitterness or triumph, but with something deeper. Understanding, perhaps, or forgiveness. Not for Marcus, but for herself. For all the years she'd believed his lies because confronting the truth seemed too terrifying. The truth had been terrifying, but surviving it had been extraordinary. And in the reflection of her office window, Victoria Hartwell saw not a betrayed wife or a revenge success story, but simply a woman who learned that sometimes the greatest act of love is preparing someone you care about for the strength they don't yet know they possess. Her mother had given her that gift. Now it was time to pass it forward. What would you do with a seven-millionaires inheritance? Build hotels, start a charity, or something else? Comment below, and don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you.